device. Okay. Oh my God, it's working now. That thing keeps getting messed up. Of course, I wasn't able to test it for some reason. All right. We can't have a Wednesday start without a screw up. Like, oh my God, there's no camera? Oh, yes, there is. It's pointed the wrong way, sort of. I must have bumped into it. Greetings, folks. It says there's 3 people watching. That's incredible. That's amazing. Can't be. Hi, I'm AC. This is Dank RC. I think it's Wednesday, like a month since the last Wednesday. We only have Wednesdays every month or so around here. But it is Wednesday today, and so it's time to be in the workshop and work on the same thing. But I don't know. I've kind of tried to pay attention to what's out there, and there are new planes. Well, at least one. There's new goggles. There's new stuff out there in the world, which is very exciting because, well, maybe someday I'll have to be able to spend money on stuff like that, but I probably should never buy a new plane. I can't believe it. Andy and Kevin are here. Man, we haven't been flying in so long. Well, at least I haven't been flying. Those two probably have been way more than me because, like, I have not been flying at all. There are my knives. I was just looking for those. Greetings. I miss you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. We didn't even talk over Thanksgiving. I hope we can fly maybe this weekend. I don't know. You should text me. I don't know what the weather's going to be like. Anyway, there is a new iNav coming out. Maybe it's already come out. Ferocious Falcon. Is that what it is? Yes, Ferocious Falcon. I can read if it's this far away. And Powell Spakowski's going to have a live stream on 12/9. Of course, he's got like actual, zillions of subscribers for our iNav crowd. So you guys already know that. But the Talon GT kit, I kind of want to check that out. That looks really cool. That's a ZOHD plane. There's new Skyzone 04X Pro. Those are analog goggles, but you could put a HD0 or Walk Snail doohickey on them. And there's the new Walk Snail goggles, which are not out yet, but they will be soon, which also will take other devices. They're ugly as sin, though, I have to say. What has happened to people's design taste? I don't know. I don't have pictures. We're not doing visuals. You can, you've got the internet. You got the whole thing. As I said, I haven't been flying. I'm the foam board guy from the last live stream. Now I built a small glider. Oh, sweet, dude. How did it turn out? From a month ago, that was a long time ago. Like the whole world has changed since then. I hope it turned out well. I love foam board airplanes, in case you haven't noticed. I don't know if you can see them. Can you see them? There's sort of some planes back there. And I fly with these two guys, Crosswind Jones and Kevin B. They are better pilots than I am. They are better plane builders than I am. So I'm not like here to teach. You should probably learn what not to do from me, but I do have opinions, and they're probably wrong. But there you go. I am not a narcissist, that's for sure. But I'm willing to go on here and make a fool of myself building these things. So here I am. We're building the sort of my version of the Mini Guinea. And the reason it's my version of the Mini Guinea is because the dimensions have slightly changed, as I have said before. For reasons I should explain. Where's the old one? Hold on. My planes in storage are crashing. 1 second here, folks. We have a catastrophe. Okay, here's the other old plane. let's get it out because we're going to need it to refer to. Sorry, but we're back. Okay, so we're building one of these with the less crash impact results on it, hopefully. And we're going to just take the motor mounts from this one and put it on this wing eventually, and we're going to use this. The reason that's a different dimension, I was getting to that, than the original flight test plane is because I already had this 3D printed wing saddle, I call them. Wing mount, saddle mount or something. This thing under here. And it was for the FT Explorer, the video that played at the beginning. My Twin Explorer, one of my favorite planes to fly, which is way over there. That's the wing mount for that. So why not make my other plane that I'm about, the flight test was like 5 or 6 millimeters off from that. Maybe a little bit more, but not much. So I just changed the drawings to fit my already existing 3D printed parts. So that's what this is the fuselage. We have cut out barely the tail vertical stabilizer rudder, and we have cut out the wings, and I believe this time they're actually right. We've also cut out one wrong wing because we like to do extra work. We're going to need to refer to this. So this is the tail section. So I thought I would have this ready before we started. I was going to get these all cut out. Here's the little end pieces. We'll cut those out, and we have to cut this out. That is the horizontal stabilizer. And it would be nice if we had some shorter screws maybe. I think I have the longer screws to mount a camera pod. One of these here camera pods that I build. Well, I can't find one over there right now. So camera pod goes on top of there. Whoa! I knocked the... okay, so in workshop news, I didn't quite finish the news here. The glue gun, I'm going to use this new... I've had it for a year now, and I never opened the box, basically, except to look at it after I got it. The FT300 glue gun. My $20, maybe probably $15, maybe $12. The Pro 80, the AdTech Pro 80. Where is it? Let me get it. I don't know what's wrong with it. It still creates heat. I took the tip off because I thought, well, maybe I'll get another Pro 80 and use that cool tip. And it might even be the tip. The tip was actually from Crosswind Jones and his box of goodies that he gave me one time. He gave me a box of stuff he was discarding, and it was trash to him. And there was a few treasures in there, and one of them was the tip, which I then broke. So then I found another tip. That tip worked perfectly. The gun was working great. But I then broke that tip by dropping this gun on this floor, and then it broke the little metal sleeve, this part that's inside of there. That little metal sleeve didn't, it's all metal. It didn't have this rubbery silicone thing. So then I realized that I had another tip that looked exactly the same in my glue gun drawer. And so I put that tip on, and then it didn't work anymore. It worked like shit. And I thought, well, I must have done something else when I broke it, like broke maybe something inside the path here. But now that I've had it, I turned it on, and I left it, or I plugged it in, and I left it like hanging upside down, and I let all the glue come out, and you can see the heating element in there. And the heating element heats up just fine. There's a clear path. So this, whatever this was, 12, 18, 20 bucks, whatever, it's not fantastic glue gun by any stretch, but it is the one I've been using for years. And then I was even more happy with it after I put that tip on that was in Andy's box of stuff. But then at the last couple things I've tried to glue, it's like the glue, the trigger is not coming back. It wasn't bouncing back. And I pulled the glue out, and I put a different stick in, and it was doing the same thing. I just couldn't get it to. So what we're gonna do is, I haven't tried this really. I had it kind of. Oh, I'm losing track of stuff too. I have other things to talk about. The glue gun, check. It's on here. Oh, very good. The glider. Okay, so what's the wingspan on it? Tell us about it. I'd like to hear. A glider. So does it not have a motor? Does it just, it's you pull it with another airplane up into the sky, or you chuck it, or you launch it, or I don't know the details. I want to know the details. Okay, so the O4X Pro goggles, those are out. The Sky Zone. I'm still an analog guy, so I'm very happy that stuff is still being like made. It's analog. If my goggles are the Fat Shark Dominator 3. Fat Shark, which is what I don't even know if there's still a thing anymore, but and they have new goggles. They had new goggles a couple years ago, the digital ones called Dominators. So these are Fat Sharks. They're analog. I love these goggles. So they've got my diopter things that I ordered from Germany. I love these things. So goggles are obviously very important, and the fact that I have all these planes with analog stuff on it, and I have analog cameras, and well, that box doesn't have one. This one does. Oh, and this one does. So I have cameras. I have the two ants also over there. I have a lot of analog cameras. I can put like camera switchers on and stuff. I like analog. I'm sorry. I can't shake it. I can't afford to change. Let's face it, digital is way more expensive. It's way more expensive. And you get and you give. You get and you give. So we'll say that. But speaking of digital, so there's going to be the ugliest goggles in the world come out. They're even uglier than the DJI, I think. I should pull up a picture, but you guys can look it up. The walk snail, whatever they're going to be called, they've got these they look like people who like a Cybertruck. No offense to you out in chat land. It says there's 4 people watching. How could that be? If you like the aesthetic of a Cybertruck, which I do not, that is going to be a fiasco, by the way. They're going to be garbage. They want my rant. People who fall for for a Cybertruck, it doesn't carry shit. It's going to be built like shit. Excuse my French. Robert will be pissed. Okay, so walk snail goggles. They besides the aesthetic of them, they seem like they might be interesting. I think that what I heard from like Bardwell and It's Blunty and the FPV News Show and a couple other places, that there's going to be like a new chipset coming out by the same vendor that they get their current chipset from. That's going to be way longer range. Crosswind Jones. He'll appreciate that because he said, it is walk snail that you have, right? Yes, he has the walk snail goggle module. I believe that's what Mr. Crosswind Jones has. The walk snail goggle module on his HDOs or something like that. Tell me if I'm wrong if you're listening. Um, anyway, what was I going to say about that? I don't know. It's supposed to be like he has range issues. He's heard. I've heard tell of range issues for firsthand from somebody that I know, not on the internet, but in real life, IRL. And so 5 times more range or something would be better than what you have now. So this is just reason for me to say I'm going to hold off on the whole digital thing again for longer. So at first I was like, I'm going to hold off till like 2022. And then it's like now that ship has sailed. And so now I was like, I'm going to hold off for another year. Well, that ship has sailed. So now I'm not going to say how long I'm going to hold off because I don't think this new chipset is necessarily going to be out in 2024. Maybe a year from now, like coming out a year from now at Christmas time 2024, which the world has, who knows what the world's going to be like. We could be under a dictatorship by then in this country. So, or close to being one, a duly elected dictatorship will come possibly. So who knows what we're going to have. Yeah. So what was I going to say? So that's the goggle situation, which I think is interesting because for a while there, I thought the whole FPV goggle thing was going to like you weren't going to be able to even get anything but DJI or used stuff on eBay. Like I have 2 pairs of those goggles because I'm so paranoid of having that goggle break and me not being able to even like shell out $600 for SkyZone 04X Pro OLED with 1080p. Now that I could get used to if in fact, you know, the way when you hook up one of those modules, which, you know, that whole situation is going to suck though. I'm going off on a little tangent, but that whole situation, Paul, welcome, just checking in. I'm on a rant. Well, I'm not quite on a rant, but I'm babbling about like what the goggle situation is. And I think that, well, okay. I think that thing is like too heavy and too clunky, like the walk snail module. Like Andy has one and it's big and it takes a lot of power. It has a big fan. I mean, it has a little tiny fan, but that's another thing. These modules, they come with these shitty, excuse the French, fans, and the bearings wear out. They're loud. There's some issues going on there. So even though yes, you're going to be able to get like let's say you get a SkyZone or an HD0 goggle and you can plug in the walk snail module, because let's say in a year the new walk snail module stuff comes out with the new chipset and it is awesome and it is better range, because that's what I want. Range. I don't want to lose my ships because my you know, the digital just goes to blue screen or whatever that happens. I don't want that. And HD0 is more kind of like analog, digital mixed with analog, so maybe that is an option. But then I've heard all kinds of weird range problems with that. So yeah, so I'm going to stick with my analog. I'm going to just watch closely the market, especially like the new Sky Zones. I want to see what people are saying after they've been out for a while and what the screens are like when I forgot to look and see if they could fit this Fat Shark diopters, because I love having, you know, if it's not in focus, what's the point? If you cannot see the screens, there is no point of having the goggles. So these new goggles that don't have any way for people to put their own diopters in, they say they have adjustments, but I just recently watched a Bardwell review of this walk snail, the ugliest goggles on earth, and he could not get the adjustment the way he wanted, and even when he did, he couldn't get the like the whole field of view situation exactly right. So there you're compromising, and it's like you're going to pay $700. So it should be good. It should be real good for $700. $700. I don't care about inflation and the fact that most people are poor because everything's gone up like 20% in the last 3 years, 5 years, or whatever. You know, that's a big deal. It's a big deal. So what else? Okay, so I said something about the Talon GT. I should stop blabbing pretty soon and actually build a plane. But that looked really interesting. I started to watch Andrew Newton, one of my favorite aviation, builder YouTube guys in the world, and but then I had to go do something, so I didn't get to finish watching it. But he also did a flying review of it, as he does. He does a build video, like just like in the old days. He's still doing the stuff he did so long ago when I was getting started that I fell in love with his videos and his techniques, and then the music that he adds and his flying. He's a great pilot, and yeah. So there, he's reviewing the ZOHG Talon GT kit, which is the version I would buy. I always like to try to buy the kits and not the PNP versions. What else is coming that I think is interesting? One time we were graced in the chat where Paul and Arturo and Crosswind Jones and Kevin B are. I had Think Flight in here for he was probably here for 20 seconds, and he was in the chat. Think Flight is a great YouTuber. He's got lots of subscribers. He's like a real YouTuber, and he does this stuff, like he does like actual experiments with airfoils and different airplane types and then another guy who I've loved since he was a kid when I started watching his channel. He was literally a kid still living in his parents' house, like not even like out of high school, I'm sure. I think I remember when he went to college even, which is RC Test Flight. And they're going to have, or they already have, a very successful Kickstarter that I didn't know about until recently. Like they already raised like 3 times the money that they were originally started to make. They want to make the injection molding for their tiny little thing. What is it called? Flick. The Flick. And yes, I think it's fabulous. It's like if you want to, fly something, if you want to try to make an FPV ship, like a fast one that's fun and crazy, that's under 250 grams, so you don't have to worry about all the stupid laws and everything, which I'm not going to pay attention to anyway. So, sorry, I didn't say that. That's going to be a cool looking. It's like a little wing with a bulbous. It's kind of like what is that? The Goblin. There's so many planes called the Goblin that I'm like, it pisses me off. But the ready-made RC Goblin, it's kind of got that kind of shape. But I think it's an airfoil shape and everything. Original design from Think Flight and RC Test Flight. Both great YouTubers. Go check out their channels if you haven't ever checked them out. But they are... I mean, they're awesome. And then these are old planes, but every once in a while, once or twice a year, I go back to flight test because, I wonder if they're still going to put out planes. And they do still put out new planes every once in a while. And so, of course, there was the Flurkin a couple, like 3 or 4 years ago. 3 years ago already now? God, time just goes by so fast. But they've got it like a year ago, they did a different version they added this tail to the Flurkin, and they called it the Boomin' Flurkin, which I had no idea about. So I'm kind of excited about that because I've kind of spent a lot of time on that Flurkin in this channel, actually, too. But on my own and in this channel. And I still can't get it to fly quite right. And so it has an interesting, tail. It's got like a... Let me go get the Flurkin. Forget it since I'm blabbing. it's got like a piece, like a piece that goes across here. And these are a little bit different. They come out, and it's got twin motors, which you wouldn't even have to have twin motors. You could still have the rear motor on it. It's got, so that is where I have the issues with this plane. It's with the pitch. The roll is fabulous. I cannot get the pitch dialed in iNav on this plane. And I'm not, if I was maybe Think Flight or RC Test Flight, right, I could probably do it because those guys are way smarter. But I've messed with it. Let's see if I can get this back on its shelf without crushing everything. So anyway, there's a different, I'm hoping that they have I'm just going to look at their videos and see if I can like get some ideas of how I can manipulate that Flurkin or the other one that I have sitting over there that's got all the parts made already for it, or 90% of the parts. Another old plane that they've come out with, and these are both twins from Flight Test, but is the B-25, and that one looks pretty cool. It's not a big fancy like a rounded one. It's a square cut and glue fuselage like this one, which is cool because those are what I make. The super involved Flight Test planes, I haven't invested myself into one of those yet, and someday. But that one looks cool. It's a twin. I think it's pretty big, or medium size, about this size, and it's got a cool looking fuselage. And it's got a tail, same with this, like a split tail. So yeah, those are the things I wanted to talk about. I wrote them down so I wouldn't forget. I hate DJI, but right now I'm waiting for their new goggles. Yes, well, I've been really disappointed with the VRX. So we're talking about, right, which one do you have? The Walk Snail? Oh, so he has Walk Snail? Yes, that's right. I know he doesn't. I knew it. That's what I've been saying. He has the Walk Snail module, and he has been disappointed with the range. So let's hope. So my advice to you all out there is that we don't buy Walk Snail and we don't buy digital until the market gets a little bit more mature. And I mean, unless you got money, if you got money to burn, then I say cool. But if you can, you're going to spend, let's take, sorry, Andy, I'm going to use you as an example because now you're invested into two different digital systems. And you're talking about the new DJI, which undoubtedly, we can hate on DJI, and I hate on DJI. But their technology is, they're far and above, way above everybody else with their technology. Whatever they're doing, it's like magic. And even with their regular drones, the not the things that you want to have fun flying, but the ones of photographers and mappers and all them, their technology in those things is also amazing. The crystal screen, that digital transmission that they do, it's got way higher latency than what you're doing with FPV. But the distance that they get and the clarity and it's just amazing. Their technology is amazing, but their company culture, their way they deal with their consumers, like Apple, their technology is cool too. But they also treat their customers like shit. And their customers say, how far can I bend over? How far can you jam it up my rear? If you're an Apple fan or a DJI fan, I'm sorry to say it, but it's the truth. I mean, it's because their technology's so awesome, and sometimes their aesthetic. So sometimes I question the Apple aesthetic and the DJI aesthetic, but so there's that too. I mean, but their technology is mind-blowing, and that's why they can do what they do. And the rest of the crowd is just going to be behind them even like at probably in 2 years, we could be standing here in December 2025 under the great golden fatso's dictatorship. And well, well, um, DJI will be the the best technology. Whatever Walksnail comes out with will be superseded by what DJI does. I could bet on that. Like that's almost as good as like somebody says if you go back, you know, if you're going to tell your 50, you know, go back and tell your 10-year-old self what to do. Go back 50 years and tell your, you know, whatever, if you're not that old, sorry, but tell your something in the past, your 3 words you got to tell them, what would they be? Mine would be buy Apple stock, you know? That's like, and, you know, I'm not saying buy DJI stock, but I'm just saying you can count on DJI's technology being superior to the rest of the crowd. That's I will admit that no matter what, but and I think that's going to be the case for the future too. So that's just my thoughts on the whole. I think I blabbed way too long on the digital thing because I don't really know what I'm talking about. So don't listen to me at all. But you know, that's a lot of money to plank down. So so let's talk about. So what I was saying is as like my friend Andy, he's invested in the DJI system, which is awesome. It is awesome technology. But then he had to deal with all the hard to get, like, so, you know, one day there was like Caddx, whatever the good ones were. And he was super smart and he said, you know, I'm going to snatch several of those up. And so he's got stuff to, you know, connect, you know, build, he can put them on different ships and have more than one ship with his, you know, stuff connected to his DJI goggles. But even with their beauty, they got their drawbacks too. They're not the most comfortable from what he's told me. And, you know, so there's all this stuff. But so then you go to Walksnail and you buy the module and then you have to buy very expensive VRX for each, you know, ship you want to put it on, right? And then, so you've got that investment. And now, let's say in 2024 in December, they come out with the new 5 times more range because like Andy says, he's dealing with range issues. So I would like more range too. So yes, that would be awesome. I mean, I don't have anything to complain about the range. I've got my analog stuff, which my analog equipment isn't that great. So my range isn't that great either. But, it's different when the range goes out. Excuse me, I don't mean to spit, but it's different. If the range goes out, it's the digital is like it feels more catastrophic when I've seen it on like other people's videos. And if you're like what's his name in Louisiana, another one of my favorite YouTubers, Bonafide Pirate. I don't know what magical stuff he's got, but I think he lives in a very low population, maybe low interference area of the world as far as compared to, well, I'm in a relatively low interference area if I go out of town because we just have a town and then there's nothing outside of town except the next towns around, you know. But he's like that. He's out in a rural area away from town. And he has the best range. He has Walksnail. It's like clear. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm doing this. And I'm just like fly out for, I don't know how far he goes, but he just goes. And he goes out and he flies. And there's never stuff just, it doesn't break. It doesn't glitch. It doesn't. And then he does his, when he did analog in his analog days, I'm still in my analog days. He, you know, he went out and flew his planes and awesome planes, by the way, and always perfect picture, perfect range, perfect signal, everything, sweetness. All right, while I could have been doing something while I was talking. Doing something. It's all about the antenna tuning and the power you can push through it. Well, yes, and it's also about the digital wizardry that they do with the signal. I mean, DJI definitely has some digital wizardry of some sort that they're... I just can't believe that people can't take... I mean, let's face it, there's the physical stuff, like the antennas. Okay, so let's take the antennas. People are definitely putting better antennas on the DJI stuff to even improve the signal that they get from the DJI stuff. But we're talking the FPV DJI stuff. And also the other DJI, the other side of DJI, the drone side. They, people buy third-party stuff to improve. They get tricked into buying junky antennas too. Like, I've seen that happen where people they're going to buy a bunch of Phantom 3s. I work in the Department of Agriculture at the university. So, I see people that buy drones and stuff. They're for their agricultural research. And sometimes, back in the day especially, they would buy a bunch of drones or just buy a few drones from a dealer that did your Phantom stuff, and they would give you a package of additional goodies like chargers and things. I saw one where they put extra stickery things on the Phantom, and they put these crazy antennas on the goggles. And actually, it wasn't the goggles; it was a screen and the controller. Anyway, I'm looking for the tape while I blab on. I don't know. It all seems... I better get like the regular screen up here too. I better act like I'm sort of a halfway, what I'm not competent, but like I'm gonna do YouTube stuff. So let's get the camera ready. Can you even see? No. Not any new cameras in this shop yet. We're still got the same old crap. Okay, so if we switch, we're just gonna be cutting these things at first. So there's nothing interesting to show here really. But so people got bamboozled into buying their Phantom drone and a bunch of crap that they didn't need with it, like the batteries that weren't the DJI type batteries. So they, a year later they were all puffy, and stuff. People got bamboozled. I've seen people get bamboozled. I don't know if that still happens. The market is more mature now, but wish my old Fat Shark goggles had the DJI quality and the range with the Walk Snail UI setup. But alas, yes, if we could only meld all these technologies together. Yeah, well, I wish I could put a very lightweight HD module on the top of my Fat Sharks that had just two little antennas that were very lightweight, and then I could switch back and forth between the digital and the analog, and that the screens in those were like, 720p, is it? 720? Ah, yes. I think the technology is going to come about. I think my strategy, because I'm a patient old man, so if I was younger, like you guys are all younger probably, so the strategy isn't as viable, because when you're older, you'll discover this, but you're just not in as big of a hurry. You might have noticed when you're behind old people driving. I used to be one of those people that was like, people were never driving fast enough. And now I'm like, why doesn't everybody just slow the hell down? They're going to run over little squirrels. Things just change when you get older. They just do. Oh, you know what? I should do the inside first. And let's get my little ruler. Oh, I've lost... Oh, you guys. It's been so long. A whole month, and I've lost... Oh, there it is. Never mind. Never mind. Now, let's turn this light on, too. Okay, and then we can go, maybe if I put this down here, that this, well, if I turn this around, very, very professional lighting we have here. And then if we switch, then maybe you can see it. Maybe. I can't see it, but you guys might be able to see it because I have to change my glasses. So, yeah, I wish that we could have that Walk Snail UI is cool. I'm going to have to put this down closer because, and then it's out of focus, of course, because it's this Logitech camera, you guys, is terrible. It's awful. I have to put it down closer because if I don't, I'm going to be putting my big fat head in the way. So what I've learned is, we're going to have to change the blade. This here blade is dull because I didn't buy any alpha blades yet. We are down to our last like 2 or 3 of these supposedly DeWalt carbide edge. And I have a bunch of, I have some an alpha blade, like the snap off blades, and the blade holder, the alpha blade holder, in a cart online. Where's the blade? I think there's only one. Nope, there's still about 5 left in there. Okay, this is covered with oil, and I hate that. I mean, I like that they do that, but then I have to clean it off because I don't want to get oil on my foam. Then it gets all rusty, but it gets dull so fast that it doesn't get rusty if I not abuse it. Anyway, alpha blade. I'm hoping that Robert is right about those, and that they are of better quality. I also got some cheaper titanium blades in the, these are carbide, which I don't even know what that means. These are DeWalt carbide, long lasting, last 5 times longer, it says. 5 times longer than what? Sustained sharpness. They are not sustained sharpness. I think part of the problem is the foam board itself. It's kind of abrasive. You could cut your skin with the foam if you so did it right. Excuse me. Okay. I'm starving because I forgot to eat before we did this live stream. You guys forgot to remind me to eat. So, we're going to cut out the little slotty things. And then we'll cut the outside out. Whoops, I went too far. I went too far with the blade, folks. Wingspan is 75 centimeters, 750 millimeters. Oh, I like that. It's got wings on the roof of the fuselage. I still don't know if it's, I'm assuming it's motorized. It's a motor glider. Right? I mean, I know people call gliders when they have motors because you glide with them once you get them up in the, yeah. But then there's gliders without motors too, like the Andrew Newton builds the, well, maybe he always has motors on them too. I don't know, but the slope soarers definitely do like a, well, Andrew Newton can slope soar anything just about. I'm not doing this under the camera because I'm a bad YouTuber. Okay, so we're going to continue on cutting this. Sorry, it's kind of boring. But that's what we do on the workshop Wednesdays. We got to work in the workshop. I have to we are almost repairing my 3D printer. I have 2 3D printers, and right now at this very moment they are both out of commission. And so I was hoping the parts for the one that would be easier to fix would come in and we would fix it. And what we have to do is replace the bearings that go along the rods of the A-net. I have 2 A-net printers. Don't laugh too hard. So that's how old I am. My printers are like old. They're both heavily modified, and I modified them before I even turned them on for the very first time because I'm not a fool. You can't buy an A-net printer for $150 or whatever the lowly amount of money I paid for them and have a safe printer. You do not build as they come in the box. You have to replace the you have to add MOSFETs, and you have to bypass and not use the heater bed plugs that they use. I didn't even use any of the wiring that they use to drive the heating bed. So I have 2 A-net printers there. One is the A-net A8, the original polycarbonate or whatever, plexiglass frame. Everything's piece of garbage, but it's my first 3D printer. And of course, about 1.5 years later, after I got that first one, they came out with the, so that was like in 2016, I think I bought that. And then they came out with the A-net A8 Plus, which was basically the same hardware. The electronics were the same. Oh, and then I already cut. The electronics were the same, but the frame was a like a 20 by 20, aluminum extrusion frame, like a V-slot frame, but it didn't use V-slot rollers for its motion. It just used the same hardware for its motion, basically, which are the 8mm hardened steel rods. Okay, we've got one of those. Well, sort of. I should have taped the other one on. So let's find the other piece of paper that I've somehow lost. Somehow by blabbing on. Oh, there it is right there. Let's tape that on right here. Doesn't matter which way it goes. They can go. They're omnidirectional because you can just slap it on one way or the other. What was I blabbing on about? Arturo, you're back. Came in late. What plane are you building? I am building this. I gotta find the nose for it now too. This plane. With the nose is gone, so we can't see exactly what it looks like, but it's just like a semi-rounded kind of nose thingy. This is basically a slight variation on the flight test Mini Guinea. Yes, I build flight test planes a lot. I have a lot of other planes to build, but we'll get to those someday. But I like building foam board planes because I crash a lot. Because like the Crosswind Jones is in here sometimes. He's just chatted a bit ago. He's a way better pilot than I do, and even he crashes his plane. So I'm crashing my planes. So when you crash a flight test plane, you could just build another one. Well, it might take you 5 years because I'm yammering on as I do this live stream, but Yeah, so it's a Mini Guinea twin, which is, I think, the way the Mini Guinea was in flight test. And the only real difference is the fuselage is a slightly different size, and I added my own motor doohickeys under here and a few 3D printed parts. I don't like doing the whole just rubber bands. I'm not a big rubber band fan, although I'm using it on the Simple Stick, which I still haven't flown. Can you believe it? I still haven't flown the Simple Stick. For viewers who watched me build the Simple Stick, it's over there on where all the other planes are, waiting to be piloted one of these days. Maybe this weekend. Thank you. I like it too. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, I think that Andy loves this plane. Crosswind Jones love flying. The twin motors. They're counter-rotating props. They're little cute little motors on there. So the motors are okay. It's the ESCs that blew. The ESC literally, like, this one crashed after one of the motors failed and a puff of smoke came out, and it was kind of cool because the puff of smoke came out like the engine blew up, but of course it wasn't the engine, it was the ESC. But in a real plane, it would have been the engine. So smoke was coming out of it as it crashed down to the ground. I believe our own Crosswind Jones was piloting the plane. He asked to fly it. I had already crashed it once that day, I think, so we had glued the nose together. And I told him not even to worry if it had crashed, I believe. Or after that, I said, don't worry, because, you know, we'll just build another one. And so it doesn't have iNav or anything in it, which is the same with that Simple Stick, which was, I think, the plane we built before this in this live stream. We built the Simple Stick. Of course, I modified the design a little slight bit by adding some length to the front, I believe. Yes, I added length to the front, and the reason I did that was because we're doing this under the camera. I might as well switch to this camera for a minute. Where are we? Are we there? Focus. Oh, there we go. It focused. Shocking. You'll have to yell at me if it goes out of focus. So yeah, Andy was flying it. And it's not, I don't know, if you have to be flying it with speed. And the part of the problem is the wing. I think the wing was the airfoil isn't the best that I made there. So we're going to try to do a little bit better job with the airfoil this time. A year from now, when we get around to building the wing, at the pace we're going, the last live stream was a month ago, almost exactly. What was it? November 8th, 9th, something like that. And so, what is today? The 6th of December. December 7th. A day that will live in infamy. That's tomorrow. Right? That's what he said. It was December 7th, right? The attack on Pearl Harbor. We always, as good old Americans here, we always learn about that stuff. People who attacked us. Yes! Victimhood plays well. Anyway, let's see. Am I cutting all the way through? No. Should try to cut all the way through these things. So let's hope. I have some other ESCs. I think You know, I should find them, but we won't have to put them in today because, you know, I won't get that far. We're going to, what time do we start? 8:30? It's 9:26. We'll probably go to 10 o'clock because I've got to, since I didn't eat before I did this. Okay, let's get this stuff off of here. How long is it going to take me to cut out 2 simple pieces of foam? Kevin and Crosswind Jones would have built a whole airplane by now. Oh, I'm peeling the paper off, which isn't really brilliant. And I should just be rounding these front edges. Why am I making them into a sharp corner? We don't need to do that. Is it still focused or is it completely out of focus? Who knows? You probably can't even see. Okay, so we'll get these cut out, at least. And we'll get the tail cut out. And the glue gun is sitting there hot. So it'd probably be smart if I actually glued something. Of course, we have to tape. And did I get tape? No. So I still have the tape that I don't like. I'm going to have to up my tape game. I kind of want to come up with a better way of laminating these things, like with real laminate. But we're going to just suffer along with what we got here. So I don't even know what camera's on. Okay, let's see if we can do this. What does it look like? I can't tell. I can't tell if it's in focus or not. What I really want to do is get some cameras. I've been looking at cameras. Possibly in January. We'll get some cameras in here. Okay, we've got that one ready to tape. Let's get this one ready to tape. Let's get it cut out of here. Instead of me just blabbing on about whatever I was blabbing on about. Walk snail versus... There's so much risk buying into an FPV system. That is the thing. When we're dealing with, unless of course, I mean, there's no risk in getting DJI really. I'm not going to be getting it, but there's no risk in getting it unless you know, concerned about some of the possible privacy issues and stuff, but there's no risk in, like, well, I guess there is some risk because DJI might totally abandon their product line for that. I don't think that FPV market is that big. That's the thing that everybody in FPV is a little worried about. And that people are saying, some people, oh, where's the camera? Now I'm pointing at the camera, it's not there. Some people are saying FPV market is shrinking, but SkyZone just came out with new goggles, so there you go. That's like new analog goggles. It's December 2023, and a long-standing company in the FPV market came out with a new set of analog goggles. So that is very promising. Very promising. That noise, if it came through, I hope it didn't, is because my email, I hope that I'm not going to start getting emails. I think I left my work email open. So if any of you have work where you have to work with your company or place of work has a Microsoft cloud, you know, whatever, for your email and all that, you'll hear that sound unless you go and change it. Okay, let's tape these up. Let's cut this out. Come on, let's move. Let's get stuff done. There's this tape that I don't like There's this tape that I don't like. Les is not like, but I still don't. Oh, this is the heavy, heavy tape. This plane is going to be heavier than... Robert's not here tonight to laugh at the weight of my plane, but that's okay. We'll let him catch up the next time he's here, because the plane won't be light. It never is when I build them, because I do stuff like this. I tape them. Okay, so what are we going to put on these things? We should put my logo. Where's my logo? It's in the... Hold on, you guys. Give me a second. We're going to dig it out of over here. We'll even turn the camera. I'll even like try to be sort of like, we'll turn the camera that way. We'll turn the light that way. There. It's sort of, maybe the color temperature will, not the color temperature, but the exposure will go down a little bit. Okay. Flirkin parts, arrow parts, arrow wings. I don't even know what this is. Oh, that was the my bank telling me that all my information was put on the internet. That's always nice. Thanks, bank. They, you know, I love it. The bank will screw up. Oh my God, my stuff isn't here. Where's my labels? Oh no. There must be another file box somewhere. Oh, you guys, I've messed up my filing system. Okay, I don't know where my labels are right now. Huh. We're not putting any logos on today. We are definitely not. I definitely don't know where any of that stuff is. I should have worn these glasses when I was looking for them, but there's definitely not another file box over there. I thought I had 2 of those. Oh well, I probably moved it when I built the simulator thing that's behind the camera back there. My big giant simulator rig that's taking up this whole space over there. I had to do quite a bit of rearranging, and when you look at it, it's not that big of a space. Why is it not that big of a space? Because this whole room is not that big of a space. We got a lot of stuff crammed in a small space. Blizzard FPV, welcome. Have not picked one yet. Any suggestions, stories? What motor will you be? Okay, so are we talking about? What do you... Oh, wait. He hasn't signed them. Well, I got to go way back to see what you guys are talking about. A sweeping flinch. He's putting together a sleeping finch. He isn't... You guys know about these flinches. What's a sweeping flinch? All right, we're going to have to go to the internet. Oh, there's no camera up here anymore. What happened to my camera? Oh, I put it on the other computer. Hold on. Where is it? Oh, I was going to possibly test it out for streaming from this one. Okay, hold on. Got to do... What is a sweeping flinch? I've got to find out now. Can't believe I don't have this plugged in, though. And I don't have a port to plug it into, because that is filled up. Where is it? Uh-oh. We're not going to get... Oh, yes, right here. Right here. Right here. Right here. There is the place. Yes. Okay. All right. So hold on. Sweeping flinch. Let's get it. Let's get it up on the internets. Get a tab. New tab. Desktop center. Desktop center. No, not that. Desktop center. There we go. Desktop center. There we go. Oh, and the camera's even working. Look at that. Hi. It's a little crooked. Needs to be adjusted. But there it is. Okay. Sweeping flinch. Sweeping flinch. Is that what you guys said? There's the chat right there. Yeah. Never heard of this, guys. Never. Nope. Sweeping flinch. What do we have here? Oh, look at that. Out of stock. That is like the size of 37 inches. Okay, that looks cool. That looks cool. Let's get rid of the Cookie Monster here. Yes, bare bones. Metal mount. Yeah. Yeah. Big battery bay. Metal motor mount. All right, yeah, well, I'm going to let you post links. Blizzard, you are a moderator. And so are you going to be, Paul. Where are you? Pretty soon everybody in here is going to be a moderator. There you go. Okay, so I like it. I like the fact that Get FPV selling wings and ready-made, Race Day Quads is selling wings now. That could have made the news. Race Day Quads. They're selling wings. Look at this. How to talk about attention deficit disorder. Okay, wings. Let's see what they got, just for fun. So the new He Wing, I forgot about that. T2 Cruiser. Look at that. $340 freaking dollars. What the hell? 340. Are you saying that thing goes 90 miles an hour? Yeah, that's what you were saying. It's out of stock though. Medium-sized wing. Spar. So you obviously it's bare bones. You build it. That's what I like. That's what I like. Yeah, I like that. The Coroplast. That's like old. This is old school wing. That's old school, which is the best school. Yeah, okay. Keep it on my wish list, guys, because I should build some real wings instead of those flight test ones. And let's look at planes just for a minute, because I sort of did it, but I did it quickly. So this is cool, except for the price. I mean, it's a plug and play, right? It comes with everything, but what does it come with? What does it come with? Download manual. I'm the kind of geek that reads the manual before I buy something. The T2 Cruiser full reveal. I'll have to watch this. I didn't see this, but I love twins. I love twins. I love putting a camera on the tail of a twin like the Explorer that I fly. Oh, look at that, will you? Now, this doesn't quite make sense. Because if that's your... I would have tried to make the gimbal mount a little bit more... Okay, I see. You don't put this on when you're doing the gimbal. But that is... I don't know if I like that design, but maybe. When you land, you're gonna... yeah. I like gimbals though. I want to put some more gimbals on, or at least just the crappy servo ones. Built-in flaps, but what do you get? For $300? What are you getting? All the stuff, the motors, the FPV gear. What are you getting? $22.16. You're not getting a 6S. Oh, ESC. You're getting ESCs. Okay. And some props. Getting some servos. You're not getting a battery. It's not a VTOL. No, look at that. There's no VTOL. There's no third motor or fourth motor. No VTOL. Includes 2 motors, 2 props. So it's basically a quote PMP. Yeah, it's a foamy. Anyway, okay, so fun to look at that. I like the way that's my kind of style of plane. I like wings too, though. Those are my favorites. I gotta face it. My wings are favorites. Wings are the best wings. Okay, so let's look at the wings. Let's see what wings they got. Oh, they're calling these wings. Okay, so the Dart, that's been around for a while, right? I've got a Drift in a box. Andy's got one of these. Love the way that thing looks, man. That is a cool looking plane, you guys. In the air, launching. This plane is cool. It looks so freaking cool in the air, whizzing by. I mean, he is flying an FPV, and I was just watching him. I told him, and he was doing low passes and stuff. And man, I loved it. I want one. Kit. I wanted a kit. Yes. I'm salivating. That one is nice. Okay, wait, let's look. We're on a tangent here. We're on a tangent. What do we got here? There's an old school wing. There's a pricey wing, but not quite the $338. Where was that? $338. Choose version. Okay, wait. We didn't see the. Oh, VTOL. How much is the VTOL? Was it VTOL for $338? Was I wrong? Oh no, that is that plane. Okay. Where were we? Let's go back. He-Wing Cruiser. It is not a VTOL. It is a cruiser. Cruiser, man. It's $338. Pre-order now. Pre-order. So it's like, yeah, the cruiser's the new one. So, oh, and you can add walk snail goggles for only $458. All right, let's look at what we're getting. Oh, wait a minute. No. Yeah, sorry. It is just $338 for the plane. You can get an Avatar Pro kit. Let's look at that. Where's the whole listing? Walksnail HD products. Sorry, we're on a tangent. Okay. These goggles are ugly. Don't you? I mean, maybe I'm wrong. They're not as ugly in this picture. But they looked so... Maybe the ones that Bardwell had looked different. But this whole front thing... And also, it's the wrong color. I'm sorry, you guys. Goggles should be white. Unless you live in the Arctic and you don't care about sun blasting down on your black goggles. Goggles should be white. Goggles should be white, people. Oh, and the other thing is, one other thing. Stop calling it, putting X in everything. X is stupid. and just call Twitter Twitter. I'm going to call Twitter Twitter. And X is just, the X doesn't make things cool. If you put X on your product, it just doesn't, red doesn't make your car faster, and X doesn't. I know red's the fastest color and everything, but no, and it just doesn't. So yeah. Okay, back to the planes. Wings. No, wait, I wanted to look at the prices, because remember I was yapping about the prices. So we're not getting anything built. So I just want to look at the prices for a second. So this is what Andy has. So So one receiver module with the antennas is $218. I wish you could click on the ones that aren't in stock to see what the prices are, or were. Okay, so $278, and you get the Nano Kit, and the Nano Kit is cool. Okay, my flinch. Let's look at his YouTube video. Let's do that. Oh, sweet, dude. I love hand launching. I suck at it, but that's your hand launch. Let's go back. We're going back. Gonna subscribe to your channel. I'm assuming that's your channel. All right. Okay. I want it. So, sorry. We're going to slow it down. We're going to slow it down. We're going to slow it down to quarter speed. I want to see this launch. Okay, full power. Okay, I got to ask you a question. I got to ask. Wait. I got to ask. I don't understand this. I don't understand it. The YouTubers and all the people out there in the world, is this camera working? Is this showing up? This is a strap for a radio. How come you guys don't use straps for your radio? You won't have to stick it in your mouth. I don't understand. Okay. I don't understand that one. I watch Andrew Newton do it too. I'm like, all the best pilots do that. So I'm missing something, but I just don't understand. We got technology. Okay. All right, we're watching at quarter speed because I just want it. We're going to watch it first, and then I'll say what I wanted to say. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Yep, it's sort of the same. So I guess that's just like a... Okay, and then you turn. All right, the reason I did that was because Kevin B in the chat, who was in the chat for 1 second earlier in the stream, my friend, I have two flying buddies here, and Kevin and Andy, and they were both in the chat earlier. He launches his plane just like that. And I launch it. Okay, so let's back up. So I have the radio in my left hand and the plane in my right hand. And I am left-handed, but I have the radio in my left hand. I have a strap on the radio so I can sort of let go of it. And I have the plane in my right hand. And I'm facing, see how you're facing like this way and almost sort of this way? You're really facing, Kevin sort of faces almost backwards. So like the plane is launching this way and his feet, like if he was to hit a golf ball, it's like the golf ball would be over here. His golf swing would be over here. Yours is kind of like more this way. But you see what I'm saying? So, that's all I was watching because it's just different to me. I like to, North 49, Chris is here. What's happening, dude? I'm doing well. We're analyzing the launch of this plane right here because I'm interested, I'm curious about the launching technique. Because it's not quite like Kevin's where he's almost facing the opposite way, but it's definitely like, okay, so I just like flick mine. So like I'm like facing out. You're gonna launch it that way, right? And so I'm like facing that way, the radio in my left hand, the plane gripped with my hand the other way, I think. Let's look. Can we zoom? Can we zoom? No, we can't zoom. We can't zoom. No, my thumb's on the top. Your thumb's on the top. So it's the same. All right. Anyway, just interested. Let's watch it again. Nice. I love that moment when it just kind of off it goes. What's this runway situation you guys got going on here? Holy crap-a-moly. The Petetrich brothers would be envious. Way fast. Look at that. Look at these guys. Do you see, if my club buddies are in there, do you see those cover things that these guys got? I never trusted tossing over my head, prop too close to my gorgeous face. Yeah, no shit. I've never tried that. I've seen the dudes that throw them over their heads. And the other thing, the INAV people that jerk them to get it going, don't do that. You're not supposed to do that. I don't think. I never do that. I just chuck mine in the INAV. I like your stance. This is exactly what I look like, except I'm more like hunched over because I feel like I'm about to crash it. But the concentration when you're first, like, I feel like you might have been like feeling like a little bit like you didn't quite know exactly the orientation. Sometimes that was the look on your face, just, well, the body language. That was my body language almost all the time when Oh, Robert's in the house. Welcome. I gave up on building the plane, you guys, because I was looking at planes and cameras and stuff for sale, and then I made these our new friends, not our new friends. You guys have always been here. Blizzard and Paul. I made them the able to put links in. What am I trying to spit out of my mouth? Okay, I love that. I love it. Let it like slow it down. That feeling of just like barely before a stall and then blasting off. Yes. Oh, I love that sound too. Yeah, nice. Oh, yeah, you know how to fly. See, I don't know how to do that. I'm too chicken shit. And why? Why am I too chicken shit? Nice, man. I didn't get the joke. What was the joke? I should be reading the chat. Oh, you get the joke. I get it now, what you guys are saying. So you do launch it over your head. It's probably your videos or one of the videos I've seen who does that. You guys are like, oh, I'm sure you're all better pilots than I am. Nice. I love that sound. Where is it? Oh, there it is. So we should go full screen. See it. Nice day too, huh? So where does it say you are? It's a nice flying club. You don't have the canyon of death surrounding it like our flying club. That's like, if you crash, you're going for a hike down the canyon of death, where planes go to die. Oh my God, no shit, Robert. I am always so like like, you probably, one of those videos, it must have been like the one where I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And it's a Dollar Tree foam board plane too, and I'm freaking out about it. Isn't that crazy? See, that distance right there, well, I'm sure it looks farther, but when I fly line of sight in the wing, that's exactly how I fly, like that same approach. And then I'm always afraid of when it's on that final turn that I'm going to lose orientation for some reason. Okay, well, we like the flinch. We like the sweep wings flinch. We give it an A-OK. Do you fly at FPV too? I have line of sight, my FT arrows, and I fly the C1 Chaser line of sight. But it doesn't have that same... Oh, and are you flying 4S? Look, I'm your 17th subscriber. Okay, back to this. We're doing this for the rest of the stream, you guys. We're looking at the wings. We're looking at the wings. Race Day Quads now sells wings, so we're looking at the wings. So we've decided that if we were rich, I've decided if I was rich, I'd buy that, and so I won't. So I'm poor, I'm going to probably buy this. If I had to buy a kit plane today, I would want this plane. Would I want it in white? Does the kit come in white? No, that's the black. Oh, no, I don't mind this with the white pieces. $80, $90 in stock. In stock, folks. Could have one. Now, there's a glider. Paul, who was talking about gliders? It was, who did that? Was it Arturo? Was it Paul? Was it, who built the glider? Somebody built a glider. Sorry, you guys. My brain is not telling me right now. I have the Dart XLE with iNav FPV. I'm just afraid to launch it. Just make sure that you have the launch setting so that you have enough time to get back down, get in your goggles, and get... So take the... What version of iNav is it? Because they've changed the thing, but the iNav fixed wing launch. Let's see if we can find if that'll give us to the wiki. Releases iNav, dock settings, MD master. Here we go. This is what we want. So, we want FW underscore launch. Isn't it what it is? No. Nav FW something. Launch. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so my settings, 18 is okay, but I put 22 here. Launch detect time. Shorter's better. With threshold to be breached, consider launch happen. Maybe, I don't know. I never mess with that. Okay. Throttle position between launch state and subsequent flight mode. Okay, that's a new setting. Okay, so here you want to give it some power when you're launching. Some idle power. So when it's not spinning up from it, unless you don't want the prop spinning at all, you want to set this idle power to like 1300. And then you want to, that one I don't mess with. Altitude. Yeah, I wish this, I don't like this setting. They didn't used to have this setting in the old days. Min time, I'm trying to find out the, okay, spin up time, that's also pretty new setting. Launch timeout. This is the setting that okay, so this is 6 seconds. That is 6 seconds, I believe. No, that is 60 seconds. This is 5 seconds. What I put mine on is about 15,000. 15000. 15,000. So I basically just put a 1 in front of the default. So you do, in the CLI, you do set this text equals 15. That will give you 15 seconds to get your shit together after you've chucked the plane and it's launched. I'm assuming that you launch it. So you got to pay attention to, this is how I do it. And you got to pay attention to the idle throttle. That will mean your plane is not spinning. The prop is not spinning until it detects that you've chucked it. And I'd rather have the prop spinning already at a light speed, so 13. You can not set it to cruise in the newer versions of iNav, I believe. You cannot set it to a GPS mode. You have to set it to auto level or angle mode. You have to set it to like angle mode, manual mode, horizon mode, one of the non-GPS modes. And I think that the cruise mode is a GPS mode. I could be wrong about that, but the old versions you could do that. So my iNav, all my planes mostly are iNav 2.2. So you can set it to loiter mode. And so I still set, so I set the, where is it? I've lost it now. See, there's so many new settings for the launch. Okay, let's get this. Launch timeout. So I set this to 15,000. And at the top of that, it goes into loiter mode. And you can do that in the old iNav versions. But in the new iNav versions, you cannot put it in loiter mode. You can't just flick you can't set iNav to auto launch all the time, put it in loiter mode and chuck the plane. And it will launch and then go into loiter mode. You can't do that. What you can do, you can't do that in the newer versions of iNav, but you can do that in the old versions of iNav, and that's one of the things I like about the old versions of iNav. You don't have to think about it. You just put it, literally you could have a heart attack after you launch it, and the plane would just circle around until the battery died. And it probably wouldn't hurt anybody. So here you go. I don't have launch on a switch. I have it set to whatever the checkbox is to always have auto launch enabled, so that when you arm it, you arm it, and then you could just chuck it in the air. You arm it, and then the prop starts spinning a little bit because you have this idle throttle setting set to 1300. So your prop, or whatever it takes to get your prop to start spinning, at least so it's spinning. It doesn't have to be like pushing in the air really, but you get it spinning so that it's like already moving. And then when you chuck it, it's got some, it doesn't take, you can, and then it's got these new settings like spin up time and stuff. I don't even know. I haven't played with those. So avoid the big stress. That's probably a good idea to have a little bit of time in there. But there's another reason to already have it spinning. Have it spinning already. That's my advice. Okay, so that's the iNav advice from, and I did say at the beginning of this show, I did say, don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, a few more minutes. Let's look at these planes, even though I said I was only going to 10 o'clock. Excuse me. Because I kind of want to look, what is this one here? This is the VTOL one. Coming soon, sold out. See, the VTOL one is cheaper than the Cruza. I got to figure out why the Cruza is so expensive. It's a bigger plane. That's why. This is not 1.2 meter, right? This is 733. You guys, we figured it out. That's why. So this 700 and so millimeter plane, VTOL, is cheaper than the 1.2 meter with just twin. But I like the 1.2. I like some of these. I like these big twins like this. I like those. I had problems with my Dart XLE. It has detachable wings. Well, Robert, I was a little slow on the uptake on that one, on the size difference. Just a little bit. The brain wasn't calculating wasn't figuring things out. But anyway, I would like a kit version. We're going to have a kit version of this. Let's hope we have a kit version of this. That's a little less than $338. You do the Cruiser over the Ranger. Over the Ranger, like which Ranger are we talking about? Which Ranger? There's a lot of Rangers. Ranger is like the what is that other plane that I just complained about that has the Goblin. Yeah, I like this Cruiser, you guys. I like this Cruiser. I really like it. I like the He-Wing planes. I want to get one day. I like the boom. Boom! I like the boom, you guys. I like that boom. I built my own boom on my Explorer. You know, I like the boom booms. All right, so what is this one? So that's the 700 millimeter one. Okay, well, that's a good size too. Let's get both. Just get both, I wish. And one of these. Oh, not the PNP version though, the kit. That looks kind of cool with the white and black. Okay, let's look at this. What are our choices? So white, I don't know. I don't get sucked in by black all the time. Although I always wear black and I always got black cars whenever I could choose a color. But yeah, I like this plane, you guys. I like that plane too. And let's see, what else do they got now that they're selling all these wings? So there's the classic, the old school classic from TBS. Very expensive still. Which one is the kit? Okay, the kit. Let's look at the old school TBS one. Let's check out the, do they show any close-ups of that's like the cover thing that goes here. I wish they'd show the inside. I can't remember what it looks like. But of course, TBS just, they're awesome, but not so much at the same time. I don't know how to explain it, but there's a love-hate relationship in my heart with TBS. Okay, you can buy all these together, frequently bought together. Total price $760.92. The Drift Black version, Dark Breeze edition. Due to this item size or weight is not available for free shipping. Well, I have a Drift and I can tell you that its size and weight is minuscule. Minuscule. It comes in a tiny little box. A tiny, 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 tiny little box. Okay, back to the wings and kits. That's it then. We got these. Yeah, these are the E-Flight ones. I'm not going to buy E-Flight, although they're awesome planes. The foam, the airfoils. Let's face it, the E-Flight planes, they fly like perfectly straight. The big winged gliders, the Coruscando, these things, dudes. They fly like. But I still wouldn't get one. Okay, what is this? Flying fish. It looks tiny. Is it tiny? What size is it? 650. Yeah, it's pretty small. What happened? North 49 RC with your atomic swordfish experience. Did you have a traumatic, do you have a traumatic atomic swordfish experience? One pre-built plane. Exceed, atomic RC exceed. Is that what it's called? Is it called a flying fish or is it called an exceed? Whatever. Oh, the ESCs, duh. Not much experience at all. Maybe 20 seconds. Oh my God, I know that. I know that whole situation. I've seen it, I've done it, I've lived it, and I've watched other people live it. Yes, yes, yes. I've seen it with one of these planes. Who was it? Was it you, Andy? I don't know, but I can't remember. Or maybe I'm having a dream and it was in a YouTube video or something. But I've seen the 20-second flights of planes and the investment and the time and I mean not seen. I've done it, and oh my God, it's an experience. You're right. Okay, so one last look. We're gonna go in 2 minutes. I've got to get something to eat, you guys. We'll build that damn mini guinea. I swear to God, we'll build it. We'll build it next week or next month or next. Well, next live. I'm gonna try to have it. I'm not gonna try to do a blow off another month. We'll try to be here next week with bells on. Okay, so I have one of these. I have. Oh. So we don't need to get one of those. There are pre-orders? What? Okay, so that's all the wings. We've seen all the wings. We like, this is my favorite of the wings here. This one is at Get FPV. Let's see what Get FPV has for wings now. They're selling wings. They're selling this kick-ass one. What else do they got? Oh, I've got to set the display so it's not so large. That's what I did. I didn't. Okay, so where is the... They don't have a breadcrumbs. They should have breadcrumbs. I do web stuff, so I'm always like watching that. Planes. FPV planes. Let's see what they've got. Get rid of the Cookie Monster. Cookie Monster. Bye. Bye. All right, I guess we're allowing cookies. Okay, baby AR. What is this, you guys? What is this? How long has this been out? Kit version. In stock. 70 bucks. 682 millimeter. Huh? That's, you got to admit, that's pretty cool looking. Nice. No, like very rounded, like it looks like the bigger brother, sister. Why is it so expensive as a kid? Everything is expensive now. Everything. 70 bucks is like the minimum. Everything is so expensive. Okay, so the AR Pro is only $10 more. And it comes in white. Ooh, the White Falcon edition. I haven't seen, I guess I did see this. I did sort of see this. So I have the white. Oh, did they put? No, they didn't. Never mind. I have a white version, but it's the Eachine. Remember when they partnered up with Eachine and labeled the Eachine version? That's the one I have. Two of them actually, because one is the one we glued together on this live stream after I blasted it to pieces. Oh, that's when iNav completely pooped the coop. So, does Andy have one of these? I think Andy has one of these. Our own Crosswind Jones has one of these planes, I'm pretty sure. And I like this plane too. Weren't you guys talking about Swordfish earlier, I think, maybe? I like it. It's a twin. It's got cool, it's a V-tail twin. So very interesting. Motion RC. Okay, I always say Atomic RC, and it's Atom RC. It's Atom RC. It's dyslexia attacking. Okay, well, I like this plane. It's too bad there's not a kit version of it. There's no kit version. So this is a copy of the what the hell? Not a copy, $1,000. This is a totally different plane. That's some Vita. Oh my God, look at that. We won't even look at those. Those are way out of our league. Okay, so yep, that's it. The same kind of selection as, oh, we've got 3 pages, but it doesn't look like, oh. Yeah, I don't like this one, the Delta Strike. Just not my, it doesn't fly well, I've heard. Okay, now what's the status of this one? So they're talking about prices. Here's one that's under $70 finally, huh? $60. Not much authority in that V-tail. Seems to be the MO of the AR Pros. Yeah, they're pretty nice looking. So not much authority in the V-tail. Okay, that's good to know. You could always like alter it. That's the beautiful thing about building planes like this. You can just change it if you want to. If you don't care about how it looks when you're done. So I don't know what the story is. This is, I guess I've seen this before, but I didn't pay any attention to it. But they say unobstructed wide cabin. They don't show any pictures of it. Sort of that one. Yeah. I'd like to get a He-Wing plane or two. All right, you guys, we're gonna bail out because I'm starving. I'm starving. I'm starving to death. Like, I'm totally starving. This is what we got done today. This is it. So you have just watched the most inefficient plane building exercise on YouTube. So feel privileged. You're a small but very elite group of people. So I'm glad I'm back. I missed y'all, and I'm gonna try hard. Next time will be better. Steal from Bot Grinder. Next time will be better. And I don't even know what the end clip is. It's been so long. But I'm going to say goodnight to you guys. Paul, Robert, Chris, Blizzard FPV was here. There was somebody else here. There were people here. Other people. Blizzard and Chris and Paul, and I guess that's it. And of course Andy. Oh, Arturo. How could I forget Arthur? How could I forget Arturo and Andy and Kevin, my flying buddies, Andy and Kevin. So thank you all for being here, and next time will be better. Thank you, Bot Grinder. We're gonna do it. We'll continue on. We'll build this plane eventually. We're gonna upgrade a plane to INAV 7. So we're gonna have to have some votes as to which plane I should upgrade to INAV 7. It's got to be a plane with not one of those 411, or we could put a new. I've got flight controllers, so we could put a new flight controller in one of these planes. Anyway, guys, see y'all later. You're all gone now, I think, but good night. Good, happy Thanksgiving, happy December, happy almost winter solstice, all the things. Peace out, you guys. Peace out.